From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
The name's Nukem, Duke Nukem, and you're watching the Nerds Doing Nerd Things podcast. I don't know why, but you are.
What's going on, nerds? Welcome to this week's episode of the Nerds Doing Nerd Things podcast. We are actually back. Sorry for the last couple weeks with, what happened?
I'm just glad we went live when we did versus the conversation we were having before this.
Oh, yeah, well, you know, you'll have that. We're talking about the Great Mouse Detective. This is finishing our Sherlock Holmes series, kind of like a curveball Susie threw us a couple weeks ago. But yeah, let's jump right into it. 1986. This movie comes out actually on my brother's birthday. Granted, he wasn't born yet, but July 2nd, 1986. It's got a runtime of 74 minutes, a budget of $14 million, and brought home $38.7 million. While we talk about it, I will try to do the numbers to see how much that would cost now. But Susie, why in the blue absolute hell did you want to talk about The Great Mouse Detective?
Because I feel like it's one of the best renditions of Sherlock Holmes. Granted, it's animated, and yes, it's mice. But come on! Who doesn't love mice and dogs and the occasional rat?
And honestly, with everything we've seen through the first two Robert Downey Jr. movies, they were both very good. This has been my favorite rendition of it, honestly. I love Basil, and I love how him and I can't think of what Watson's character is in this, and it's really screwing me up here. Why are you looking at me like that?
I don't remember it either.
Haha, okay.
I had it until you started talking, and I was like, ah!
It's like, and it's gone.
And it's gone. Let's go to here.
So, this movie cost $14 million to make in 1986. That would be just over $39 million today. Let's see how much it would make today.
Dawson.
Okay, yeah.
Once I read it, I knew I was like, yeah, it's Dawson. We're good.
Susie, kind of break down everything, the differences that we saw from, what we're used to Sherlock moved into a mouse kind of colony kind of thing. Because I loved how it was still a Sherlock movie, just with animals. Disney does that a lot, honestly.
I don't feel like there's a whole lot of difference between like what we were used to with Sherlock and it moving to a mouse. I like the fact that they changed the names. I like the fact that, they kind of made it their own. But I like how they kept all of the unique elements that is Sherlock. And I think that's what made it a Sherlock movie. Like that's what made it great.
Yeah.
Which is why we can compare it to, Robert Downey Jr. films, because it still stands on its own, but it's still a great movie. What are you doing?
Taking a picture or something so I can grill somebody.
Oh, okay.
No, continue. You're doing a fantastic job.
Oh, thanks. I will say though that I like the villain in this movie better than the two Sherlock Holmes movies that we watched. So don't get me wrong, Game of Shadows, definitely Love him, love that villain. But I feel like Radigan had just something that like the other ones didn't have.
Yeah.
He had the wit, he had the cunning, he had everything he needed to be a really good bad guy. And he had the perfect plan. Like this plan was foolproof.
Yeah, he had Basil down and out until light bulb.
Yeah.
Like he had the queen. It's his.
Yeah.
Got her exchanged for a robot, and
Mhm.
he has the kingdom. But if Basil doesn't have that aha moment, bad guy wins. And honestly, I would have been okay if the bad guy wins at least once. Make a sequel.
Can we talk about though? While we're talking about the bad guy,
The
can we
song.
talk about this villain song?
Top two.
Top two.
Top two. 100%.
I don't remember what your top one is.
Really?
I don't remember.
Half of it is sung by Jeremy Irons. The other half is sung by
Oh,
Jim
be
Cummings.
prepared. Be prepared. Oh, I have to tell you a story about watching Lion King.
And then third is Poor Unfortunate Souls.
Oh, see, mine changes. This one's always in my top 5.
Depends
Like
on the mood.
really depends on what I'm feeling, but this one never leaves my top 5. Like I, my husband can't vouch for this one.
He's too busy. He's too busy nuking the boats.
But I have been known to turn on The Great Mouse Detective, go all the way to the villain song, and watch it from there on.
I can see why. It does start. Start a little slow. It does.
It does, but I love the whole movie. But my brain is like, I need to listen to the villain song, and then I go all the way to the villain song just to listen to the villain song because I'm complicated and I can't just pull it up in like Apple Music or Spotify or YouTube. No, I have to go to Google Disney Plus, pull up the whole movie, go all the way to the villain song, and then I get entranced into the whole thing. So
Not gonna say you have problems, but you know the first step is to realizing you're crazy, and you just did that. So everybody, round of applause. This is step 1 of Susie's. I don't want to call it an AA meeting. Intervention.
Crazy Anonymous.
Yeah, we'll call it a ka. Oh shit. Okay, so basically what this movie did with how popular it was, how I mentioned the money earlier, with the 37, I think 38.7 to the money now million, that's over 100 million, 108 million. So it makes its money back big time. And this really starts laying the groundwork for the Renaissance. I know you have Oliver and Company in 88, which then leads into 89's Little Mermaid. Was The Black Cauldron was a bomb. It was a box office bomb. Unfortunate, I know.
I know, but it's such a good movie.
But this turns it around. This turns it around, gets people starting to say, okay, Disney's, that was one good one. Oliver and Company comes out. Boom. Another good one. Disney's on a roll, and they are off to the races with the Renaissance area.
Say something that might be a little controversial, but I feel like Black Cauldron is a really dark movie. And I mean, it's not as dark as it would have been.
It's dark.
But it's dark. In its wake, you get The Great Mouse Detective, which is a nice little lighthearted, but it's still dark.
Yeah, it's got its moments.
And then you get Oliver and Company, which is full of amazing songs, lightheartedness, let's go canine energy. And I feel like they...
I mean, Sights is still pretty fucking scary.
Yeah, but I feel like they did, from the Black Cauldron, they did a little bit of a lighter, and, you know, they kind of eased us back into, you know, some bright and sunshine and daisies, and I miss my dark movies. I like dark movies. I'm weird. I'm sorry.
That's why you like the Harry Potter movies so much, because you need to, like, turn off the lights and be like, oh, I can see it now.
No, that is Batman vs Superman.
Yes. Not the director's cut, because they fixed it in the director's cut or
They
whatever
did fix it in the director's cut, but
the
this.
extended edition or whatever they called it. They fucked it up in the Snyder cut. So as good as the Snyder cut was, it was 5 fucking hours long.
Oh my god.
I remember sitting in your garage with like, is this movie over yet?
No, so Batman vs Superman, you and I went and saw in theaters, and I kept going, "What the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on?"
And the sheer shock of like, I don't even know.
Yeah,
And I'm
like,
usually pretty good with the Batman movies. Like, I know it's
oh, nope, we were lost.
And
So,
everybody.
but like, there's a difference between a dark tone and a dark movie.
Mm,
I feel like The Black Cauldron and The Great Mouse Detective had the dark tone. The dark.
absolutely.
Also, you know, I'm trying to think of a movie before The Great Mouse Detective where we saw the villain die on camera. I'm drawing a blank. Excuse me while I go to my list of Disney animation. Snow
Uh,
White.
you really don't see her die on camera. You just see the rock fall over and then the crows. Um, but I think the biggest part of why this movie is so good is who's directing it. John Musker, Ron Clements, two huge heavy hitters in Disney animation. Let's start with John Musker. The Great Mouse Detective was his first one. Then you go to Little Mermaid, Aladdin, Hercules, Treasure Planet, Princess and the Frog, and his last one's Moana.
Well, considering the fact that Ron Clements joined him on majority of those movies, including Aladdin.
So how about those exact same ones?
Yeah, I can only see the first three, so
What else is good?
I didn't click on the link. I covered over it.
And whatever Metalman is. But a lot of them, you know, he was a character animator for this is Ron Clements for The Rescuers, Pete's Dragon, and he was a supervising animator for Fox and the Hound. So they weren't just like, "Hey, director, go." They did a lot behind the scenes before they were ever given the reins of a feature film. And I really think it has a lot to do with
You want a fun fact?
what's that?
A fun fact.
Sure.
Sure. Okay. So, fun fact. Um, Basil Rathbone as Sherlock Holmes, the famous human detective who lives above Basil, his voice was taken from the 1966 Caedmon records, recording of the stories of the Sherlock Holmes story, The Red-Headed League.
No shit.
And the guy who voiced Watson was not used because he died in 1953, so they used Laurie Main as Watson. So at the end, you hear Sherlock and Watson. They used one of the, you know, original voices of Sherlock.
That's dope. Yeah,
I didn't know that
yeah,
until
but
2012.
Disney does that. They do a lot of callbacks to what stuff is pulled upon. I guess it was. I don't know if that's the correct terminology there. Like they show a
Well,
lot of respect where they base
yeah,
their movies off
they,
of.
they at least try to. They're not perfect by any means, but they at least try to.
So
So
where we know that the villain movie is in your top 5, it's in my top 2. But where does the movie place for you?
have we ever done an actual ranking of our
Nope.
movies?
Want to do that next? Want to do that next week?
Yes. Top 10. Do you want to do top 10
No.
or top 20?
I mm, mm. Top 15. We'll cut that.
Okay. Top 15. Got it.
Get a spreadsheet out. Like, make like a legit spreadsheet so I can go in and capture it while we do it, so everybody at home can see what we're doing. Well, I didn't need a voice on that. Everybody at home can see exactly who we're picking and when.
I will have the spreadsheet all set up and prepped for you so that we can live action.
No Pixar. We'll do Pixar separately.
Yeah, Pixar has to be separate because Pixar, that list is a doozy. So
I feel like we're gonna have to do DreamWorks.
So actually, in honor of Pixar Film Festival, which was happening in Disneyland,
I hit a nerve.
did. I propose
Shit.
that we do Pixar first.
She throws a curveball after I throw a curveball. We can't just keep throwing curveballs to each other because, yeah.
I would have laughed if you actually let that go. You're so proud of yourself.
Mostly because it didn't hit me in the dick.
Anyway, thoughts, opinions?
What do you guys think? I know we have a couple people watching, whether it's Twitch, Facebook, or YouTube. What do you guys want to see? What'd you think of the Great Mouse Detective merch? We'll get it. I'm excited for where we go. Guess what's next week as well, Susie? End of May with the podcast.
4 years. 4 years. No, we definitely have to do Pixar. Sorry.
That's fine. One of us will have to tell James. I go, hey James. I know we haven't done this in a while, but curveball. Pixar. Blame Susie. I wanted to do Disney, so it's not my fault we're doing Pixar first.
So we're gonna do Pixar, Disney,
DreamWorks?
maybe we'll yeah, we'll throw DreamWorks in there.
That's a lot of Shrek.
And then, unless AJ throws me another curveball, I'm gonna throw him a curveball and require him to watch the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
You don't want to wait for Halloween to do that?
No.
Shit.
I have too much going on for Halloween. I've got requests up the yin yang, so some of them are gonna have to be done through the year.
How do I feel like most of those requests are Carly and Mikey?
Well, I could tell you what's on those requests. Hold on, I tell you. I tell you. Tell you.
I'm in danger.
Corpse Bride, Frankenweenie.
Are we doing Tim Burton? No, not Frankenweenie. No, anything but that. If you thought Up was bad, can you imagine them resurrecting the wife? That took a whole different turn. I apologize, people.
Nice job. Great. Now I'm gonna go look up Tim Burton movies because I didn't fully process that.
No, stop. Batman. There is Batman on there. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Shit. Didn't hear that at all.
Penguin.
What?
Penguin.
Talking about Batman again?
Yes. You're welcome.
Yeah, check us out tomorrow when we talk about Series 5 of My Hero Academia with World Hero Mission. Should be going up right around 12 or 1 in the afternoon on the East. But, Susie, this was fun. Can't believe Will missed the whole show.
Which version of Frankenweenie do you want to do?
I didn't know there was more than one.
One in 1984, and then there's... Oh, that's only 30 minutes. Let's totally do that one, too.
You are such a bad influence. This is the part where she starts doing the, no, I'm not.
Not that influence. I'm a good influence.
Bullshit. That sounded like bullshit. Oh God, I have a cold apparently. All right, everybody, thank you for tuning in. Check us out tomorrow for My Hero. Deuces, ooses.